Hi everyone, my name is Heather and I'm the person behind Happy Puppy Truffles, and I wanted to share with you guys a fun project today that can help us celebrate the new year. And this is another kind of shikishi, which is a design board way of displaying work in Japan. It's kind of like a mat board. It has usually a yellow back, gold outside part to it, and then a white finish. Sometimes people write calligraphy on it, they paint and draw, and it's also a really common way to display origami. So you can use really any kind of paper you might find around the house. Even cardboard works great, as long as you finish it off with a nice piece of paper here like I've done. This is just some handmade paper with nice fibers in it, a really bright color for the new year, I thought. And what I'm going to show you guys today is how to make a Kagami mochi, which is a display of mochi or rice cakes that we have for the new year. And usually it's topped off with a little tiny mikan or tangerine, and it's a common way of kind of honoring the new year. And then you usually eat the mochi and celebrate with your family. And I just thought I'd show you guys some simple stuff that you could do to make your own. And it's really just about cutting out pieces of paper for the most part. There's a little bit of origami involved here. Usually they're on a kind of special stand, and it's a little rectangular in shape, and then it has kind of like a top to it, like so. So it kind of is like a table that you set things on. This is really small though. Mochi is usually about like this big. Sometimes these big ones for Kagami mochi are about like this big. Depends on where you go. Sometimes they're massive. But so this is kind of what we're starting with down here. And then I just cut out with some white paper this nice big kind of blob, which is what the rice cake looks like. So that's going to be the first layer. And then the second layer, I want it to be rounded all the way around so that it looks good sitting on top there. And then at the very top, I'm going to have my little tangerine here. And, I just cut things really organically so that I get kind of fun shapes. You don't have to make this perfect. That's just point of preference, so if you guys prefer. But then I made an origami leaf, and I'll have a description here if you guys want to, find out how to do that, remind yourself how to do that. But I thought that'd be a fun little way to top things off at the top. So I'll be gluing all this down first, and then I'm going to show you guys how to make this special kind of paper that you see often on these. And I think, if I'm right, and I can't even be sure, I think you kind of have to get these specially from shrines. It's not really something that you can just, buy at the local store. But I've seen lots of places in Japan online that show how to cut it if you want to make it for some decorative point. But I'm going to show you guys how to cut this. It's a really simple, easy fold and cut that gives you this little bit, and you have two of them usually, so I'll show you guys how to do that, and we'll put that on here once I get all this glued down. So just starting, of course, with the things that I need to have at the base. I can start here with this rectangular piece. And I don't want things to be super tight up at the top, so I'll try to keep everything snug to the bottom as much as I can. So I've got that little guy. And this is just handmade paper that I have, nice fibrous paper. And you have to be a little careful with this kind of stuff because it does have a tendency to let the glue through, so it's sticky on this side too. Just need to let it sit for a little while so that it can dry up good. So if you're touching it, it might be a little sticky there. And I'll get this guy here. I want to give myself enough room there, so I'm going to line it up actually with the edge of the piece that I've made here. And I guess to kind of let you know, the rectangle I started with was about 12 by 9 centimeters. So kind of give you guys some perspective if you're trying to recreate the scene at home. So I've got that glued down now. And then I can get the mochi glued down here too. I think it's a really misleading translation that we call these rice cakes, because they're not sweet at all. It's not like moon cakes that they have in China or anything like that either. This is just, it's just rice beaten until it becomes of a consistency that's kind of like dough. So we've got that guy. We eat it with soy sauce, natto. I love it with soy sauce, toasted, so it gets really yummy. So, put this little guy here. You want to be careful with your background color, especially if you're using white, because the that can kind of show through some white paper usually and kind of taint your mochi, so you don't want it to be some weird color when you're done. So I've got my little Mikan on the top here. Kind of looks like a snowman, a little bit. And then take the leaf, and I don't want this to be totally flat. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right on the tip, and that will give me a chance to kind of glue it and connect it to things here. Give it a little dimension. And then we're going to do the last bit, which is that ceremonial kind of piece of ribbon that we put on the sides here. Now, I've used some paper in this case that is 10 by 5, and you want to go with that 2-to-1 ratio if you can, because when you fold it in half, you want to have a square. So I'm just going to fold it in half now. Now, if you want to avoid the creases and stuff that you see here, you could choose to draw the lines here and then cut and then kind of reverse things if you wanted to. But I think it's easier just for first-time people to just kind of do it this way. We've got it folded into a square, and we're just going to fold this now into 1/16. So if I first fold in half, and this creasing can be done really lightly, it doesn't have to be really strong. We're just doing it to find where these lines are. And then fold each of those sides into the center to make a door base. So you get that divided into fourths. Turn it 90 degrees and do this whole thing again here by first folding in half and then folding into the center. Now you've got these nice lines here that help you know what's going on. And to kind of keep things simple, keep that creased edge here on the right. And what I want to do is essentially cut from the bottom of this first line all the way past the first and second line and stopping at that topmost line. So I'm just going to line up my scissors here and cut right up to that point. Then I'm going to just turn things around and do the same thing on the center line. Cut straight up to that top line. Turn things around again and do it one more time on this last line. Again, cutting all the way up to the top. So that's basically alternating cuts there. And then what we can do is, if you kind of turn things over for a second, we can take all of this and flip it over and just fold onto that crease that we've made. And flip it again. Try to keep things as straight as you can, and flip it again. And that should give you the two pieces that you need then for this. And we just glue that then onto here. And actually, if you want to, you can reverse things on the second one to make it like a mirror of itself. That's kind of just up to you guys. I'm going to do that so that things are kind of a mirror here. And you want to do your best to make the creases that you have right on these edges really strong. That will keep everything kind of in place. I'm personally going to choose not to glue the entire thing down. I'm just going to glue at the top at the base. These rest right at the top of this little table here, and then you should allow them to kind of hang down and look really nice here in the front. So I'll go ahead and put a little bit of glue here. That should kind of give you a finished piece then of Kagami mochi. And then if you happen to have a signature or a stamp, you can use that if you prefer. If you're doing something like this, it's a nice way to finish things off. And then you have a nice display for the new year with this fun little Kagami Mochi, or little mochi with a little tangerine at the top there. And I'll have actually a 3D version of this, a real origami version of this coming up too. So look for that. And thank you again always, you guys, so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful 2014, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.